Greetings, I'm Zachary Hepner. I'm pleased to share this Torah with you for Parashat Noah. The Torah states that Noah's ark landed in the Ararat mountains. It's well known that there's a theory that the indented concave landmass of a boat that has similar dimensions and properties of the ark might in fact be the lost ark. What's even more fascinating is that when it says Vayachel Noach ha-adamah va-yitta kerem, that Noah, the man of the ha-adamah, engaged in viticulture and the oldest known pottery with tartaric acid from wine residue was recently found in the South Caucasus mountains in Georgia, which would be about 8,000 years ago, and it would be in the same part of the world that Noah would have indeed landed. I consider that fascinating. Noah was the promised child. The last verses in Genesis 5, his father Lamech alludes to the extent of just how the land had become cursed. As Chazal explain, until Adam had eaten the forbidden fruit, the land and the plow had obeyed the will of the farmer. With Adam's curse was kotz v'dardar. Thorn and thistle will sprout. Generations following Adam were forced to toil for their bread with thistles and thorns in the land. With the nativity of Noah, the land's curse ceased. That's why Noach was named Noach, which means pleasant, because the land ceased being unpleasant due to Noach's birth. Following the flood, God promises lo asif lekalel od et ha-adamah bavor ha-adam. Note that God did not bless the adamah. God only removed his curse from the ground. Now, removing a curse is not the same thing as a blessing. God did give a blessing, but not to the adamah. Vayavarech Elokim et Noach vet banav vayomer lahem pru urvu imilot haaretz. God did bless Noah. Be fruitful, multiply, fill the land. Both a blessing and it's a command. Just in case Noah didn't get this hint, God repeats it and reemphasizes his blessing with the charge, Ve'atem pru'urvu shirtzu va'aretz u'revuva. Repopulate, fill the land, with divine reassurance to Noach that repopulation is not futile because God will no longer flood the world. The narrative then leads to that fateful event when Noach becomes inebriated. It should be named, I kind of know what you did last night, but don't really know. What exactly happened is unclear. What Ham did is unclear. What didn't happen is much more clear. The Torah starts the narrative with a tone of sarcasm. Vayachel Noach ha-adamah va-yitta kerem. Vayachel is a word that's related to the flood. But look at this. Ha-adamah, the man of the land, what dedicated to the land? What is he, an agricultural engineer? Is he ha-adamah, the promised child, whose birth ended the era of ground thorns? Noach was charged and blessed with multiplying and spreading throughout the land. He was charged with engaging the world like Adam 1. He didn't do that. He was also granted dominion over the beasts. He didn't exercise that either. Instead, he became ha-adamah. Instead of focusing on the blessing he was bestowed to by God, he neither multiplied nor scattered the globe. He was fruitful, but fruit of the vine. He engaged in Adam 2 activity. In a way, the context of ha-adamah is mutually exclusive to the other common word in this narrative. Instead of ha-adamah, the word is ha-aretz. Ha-aretz means scattered everywhere, while ha-adamah is stuck in one single place. Noah may have been stuck for many reasons. He might have been wistful for the good old days. This echoes the tragic demise of Joseph Roth, who was unable to cope with the new world post-World War II and post the Shoah. Ramban suggests that Noach may have felt that he ki chazar la'avodah l'shamra kasher nitztava ha'adam harishon v'ulai ratzah lahachshir ha'adamah asher hukta b'mabul. Ramban suggests that he may have wanted to remedy the land, which was ruined by the flood. Ramban's actually quoting from Midrash Rabbah 36:3. Lahachshir et ha-adamah hitchil letaken et ha-adamah shekollela. Seforno adds that Noah thought of himself as ish ha-adamah from his birth. So he was actually doing what he thought was his own personal raison d'etre. That's Sforno on Genesis 9:20. The Zohar takes the Sforno's model even further. Noach avad yat'ara dahavet arura ba'e lematkana la'ara. Noach was making a tikkun to the land that may have been formally cursed. The problem with this Zohar is that the land was no longer cursed. So what tikkun was needed when God had already lifted the curse? What's evident is that Noach was focusing on the land and not on the blessing that he had been given by God. The land may have been no longer cursed, but that is not the same thing as being blessed. All these explanations are wrapped up in a small Or HaChaim HaKadosh on Genesis 9:20. Vayachel Noach ish ha-adamah keven shara haaretz shenitchadsha beteva achar hamabul chafetz la da'at siba im totzi perot kavarishana ulakach nata kerem la da'at im chazra habracha limkoma. Listen carefully to this Or HaChaim. It gives long life advice and can help one from the deep blues. Noah was living in the past. He knew about the Garden of Eden. He had heard the tradition of its fruits. He knew that he was the golden boy whose birth ended 600 years of cursed land. God blessed Noah and commanded him, multiply and scatter. But Noah had other plans. He wanted to return to the garden. If I could just, let's go back to the garden. The story ended poorly, and Noach's Garden of Eden was far from a paradise. The Or HaChaim HaKadosh is teaching that we don't return back to our mother's womb. We move out, we move on, and we work with the blessings we have. Both the Garden of Eden and Noach's failed garden end with curses. They end with issues of nakedness and inappropriate knowledge, va-yitta, which of course echoes the tree of knowledge. Kohelet teaches, Al tomar mehaya, shehayamim harishanim, hayu tovim me'ela, ki lo mechochma, sha'alta al zeh. Do not ask what was. This is not wise. Don't say the days of past were better than today. This is not wise. Learn from the past, but don't live wistfully. Noach emerged from the Mabul, but was unwilling or unable to procreate or take dominion. He was stuck in the past. Instead, recognize what the Almighty has blessed you with. And those are your shovels and tools to move forward. Proper engagement as Adam 1 might lead to a garden of Adam 2. It seems that Noah was not charged to guard the garden, and choosing the non-blessed role is not the path to going forward. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.